It's a family show.
This is an awesome show. It's the best hobby in the world, and I need to write down Campbell Rice's name. No, I'm going to nail it. All right, Campbell Rice.
You're going to be fine.
Campbell Rice. How
many glasses do I have on? Okay, guys.
One pair. Where's your other pair?
I don't know. This is number 49.
There's your podcast, your fortune cookie.
It was delicious.
All right, guys.
Yummy.
Somebody give us a countdown. Both cameras are going, right?
Wait, where's the question that we're going to talk about?
I don't know.
Great.
Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1.
This is the What's Neat This Week podcast, number 48.
9.
That's wrong. That's wrong. All right, okay, ready? Sit over here because the microphones won't pick you up if you're over here. Michelle, will you smile at me during the show?
What? There you go. Perfect.
Yay, I like
Good job.
Okay, I'm sorry I messed that up, but it gave us time to do what we just did.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to do this one more time. Somebody give us a countdown for number 49.
All right. Everyone ready? And in 3, 2.
Tonight on What's Neat This Week, podcast number 49, we got little bitty trains. We got great big trains with lots of wheels on them. And we got Chris Palomarez. What else do you want besides this clan? I love it. Number 49. Let's go, guys. The What's Neat This Week video podcast is supported by enthusiastic model railroaders just like you. Additional support is provided by Athearn Trains. Check out all their new monthly announcements at athearn.com. And by Bachmann Trains. Now that's the way to run a railroad. Check out their website at bachmanntrains.com. Further support is provided by the NCE Corporation, the power of DCC. Visit their website at NCE DCC.com. And thank you for supporting the What's Neat This Week podcast. This is the What's Neat This Week podcast, number 49 for September 15th, 2018. I'm your host, Ken Patterson, the host of the What's Neat show over at Model Railroad Hobbyist Magazine. And tonight I've got a whole cast of crew with me, starting over here with Michael Budde. I've got Chris Palomarez right here. I've got Campbell Rice. I pulled a tree out of a hat, Campbell. And of course, Joshua Barton. I love your sugar fire, Joshua. I got Austin Allard back there on camera number 1, which is in a new position tonight because we kind of made up things a little more space for us down here. And we've got our favorite Daniel Coombs over there on number 2. Show us Daniel. Give us a shot at Daniel there, Austin. How about that, Austin? You've got space to move around now. Now to get on with new news, we're going to start out with, I'm going to switch them around here on you, Chris. I'm going to start out with Jason Schron and Dan Darnell, both from Rapido. Now, we interviewed those gentlemen on the What's Neat show for the RPM meet, which is running right now. But this week they showed for the very first time an operating Royal Hudson in HO scale. This is an absolutely gorgeous locomotive from the boys up in Canada. This thing's got lit headlights on it, but they're all controlled individually by functions, which is getting really big with the manufacturers now, whereas the headlights, the number boards, the class lights, and the firebox flicker are all individually controlled by CVs. Now, this, of course, comes with ESU Loc sound from Matt Herman over there, and it's just a really nice model in that the way it's geared like a diesel underneath. It's actually got a transmission system in it where every single driver's got a gear on it. So it's a really neat, innovative design from Jason Schron and the boys over there at Rapido. Thank you. Now we've also got James Wright, Chris, and he was talking this week about the Athearn SD60e honoring first responders. And
Yeah, the 911.
It comes with a Tsunami 2 decoder in it, and it also comes with LEDs, which is something you've been stressing to me all week, that Athearn's really starting to put a lot of neat nighttime features on these locomotives.
Yes, yeah. That's something that we're responding to a lot of requests actually from our customers. It's technically what we've been wanting to do behind the scenes for quite some time, and we developed a way to do it. So we're going through our entire line and converting the entire line over to LEDs. We're in process of doing that right now. Select models are delivering with LEDs right now, but we're hoping to have everything switched over, I'd say probably by the end of next year. So.
I'm absolutely amazed, Chris. Now I got to tell you what, I love this BNSF swoosh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have a feeling, dude, that's my love of my week this week. That
Well-
is such a beautiful model. I love the way the nose is notched out on it. It's just got a bulldog effect look to it that just gives it a brute look. So good job on that model.
Yeah, it's what have been one of our more popular models that we've announced, and we've been happy to deliver them as quickly as people have been ready to accept them. So these just came onto the market. I'd say the summer, over the summer sometime, and they're in stock right now at Athearn.
It's pretty cool. Now, guess what, guys? I was in Walmart the other day at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right there's a copy of Model Railroader magazine. The first page I flipped it over to, and guess what? George Bogatiuk was right there at Walmart staring me back in the face.
Wow.
George, there's a picture of you in Model Railroader magazine. Did you know that? They're running an ad with you in it, and you're looking right at me. And I'm like, George, what are you doing here at 2 o'clock in the morning? But George has been wonderful in that he's taken 2 Broadway Limited M1 locomotives that are my actual favorite gorgeous steam engines down here. And we've taken out the sound system that came factory in those units, and we're putting the Tsunami 2, George is putting the Tsunami 2 system in the locomotives, and he's videotaping the process for us. And in fact, I got to watch mine run tonight for the first time on videotape.
Nice.
That's weird. It's like watching a baby be born through video. It's a little strange. But here it is running. Thank you, George, for doing that for me. And he put the speakers in the boiler, so the sound is going to come like it's coming out of the engine.
Wow.
Which I really look
Instead
forward
of the
to.
tender.
Yeah.
I know. How about that? I've got also on the list here, Bob Prewer gave us 4 more logos, Joshua.
Ooh.
I know. Tell me what you think about all this. You've seen all of them so far.
I think he's doing great work, and I think we might at least use one of those. So I'm pretty impressed with what he has, and anyone else that has any logo ideas, feel free to send those in. We're going to start making some shirts and possibly some other things.
Cool. How about some coffee mugs?
Yeah, well, those are possibly in the works as well.
All right, all right.
What is this thing going around the table here? That's not a snake. I had one of those in the basement this week.
Oh.
Tell us, Campbell, what have you brought to us on this?
Well, this is this is a Z scale, and I don't typically model Z scale. I model HO scale, but I picked this up and I keep it on my desk in my office where I work. And when at times when things get stressful, I flip this on, and this is my therapy train actually. I have therapy. I don't have a therapy dog anymore, but I have my therapy train, and that's an AZL engine, American Z lines through Z-Track, and then the cars are micro trains. So just something I've been playing with, just trying to
Cool.
be a little different, and I've kind of enjoyed having it there.
Oh yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are super detailed for being
You
so
know,
small.
yeah, I was really surprised, and you look at those tank cars and even the grab irons and everything. It's amazing
Yes.
what they're doing
Yeah.
with models today, all scales. Especially Z scale is
Right.
as small as it is to work with. It's just blows my mind.
Can we just watch it for a while?
Yeah, that's how
Well,
I'm
you
mesmerized.
see how memorizing it is. I mean, it just kind of puts you in this certain trance, and
It's like Joshua said, I can't believe it. I'd love to do a full-blown scene. I'd love to do a courtroom model in that scale. It would just be
yeah.
great to have a gigantic scene all set up with that.
Or even under a coffee table and have the top
Yeah.
glass. Or
Right.
something
There's
like
so
that.
many
Yeah,
ways
there's
to
so
do
many.
that.
And while I was at the NMA convention, I walked by and I saw this snail speed controller, and that's what we're actually running on. It takes a 9-volt battery, and
Oh, cool.
it will creep down so slow. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty fascinating.
Now, who's this made by? Z-Track actually makes this, and
Yes,
this is
yep.
the Snail Speed Controller.
Yep.
And this is a handheld controller that goes directly to the track, and it
Right.
runs on batteries.
Right, 9-volt battery.
So I can run this train right now with this.
Yep, that's the throttle.
I've already
side.
showed you B-roll of this up close, so it's okay, Austin. I know Austin wants to get close on this. This is cool. I
Have to
didn't
get
know
really
this was
close.
here.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
not
look at that.
DCC. This is just
It's
regular.
it's just DC, battery control. So.
Wow.
I am so impressed with that. It runs super smooth.
Kind of building on what we were talking about here. What aspect of model railroading do you look forward to the most?
Me?
Everybody.
Okay, Joshua.
I mean, of building.
Yeah.
You know, constructing something.
Right, that's the way it is for me. I'm,
You know?
I'm more of a model builder
Yeah.
than a model railroader, operating. I mean, I enjoyed operating on the few times I've done it on those kind of layouts, but
Yeah.
I'm mainly a model builder. So,
Well, for me, I guess it's scenery and making
Yeah.
it look
Mhm.
realistic, and hey, running the trains afterwards a bonus. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to try to keep it realistic and
Oh, yeah.
make it look as real as possible.
I like that little diorama that you brought with us. We should be showing that on here
Maybe.
with the
the
leaves,
future.
the individual leaves.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to do a segment for What's Neat over at Model Railroad Hobbies
Oh,
Magazine.
okay. So
Yes.
got some more editing.
This is
do.
going to be another pull. No, this is not going to be edited out. This is going to
Yeah.
be another watch him pull
Well, I
a
li-
tree out of a hat.
Yeah.
You
This is,
saw what he did. He took a drill.
Yeah,
And all
oh,
of a sudden,
yeah.
and I can see the clip running right now. He turns a drill on, and it goes from this mess to
Right.
an instant perfect
It is.
armature.
When you see the technique has been around for a while, but when you see somebody do it right there in front of you, it's very impressive.
I don't think that technique has ever been videoed.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
don't
just
know.
something that's being kind
like
of
shown in pictures with old pliers and stuff.
yeah. Some
Yeah.
some line
you're
drawing.
A pioneer.
Yeah. Right.
Pioneer.
Which leads into the answer to the question, and that is photography. The end still photograph for me, the pursuit of the perfect model railroad shot where you can't tell it's a model except
Right.
from the Katy coupler.
Right, right.
So, but now it's video.
Yeah.
It's not still photos anymore. Now it's to capture the best video run by that you can get. And we've had some great ones, like when we set up the city and we had the 2 steam engines or the Challenger running through the scene in HO scale.
Yeah.
I mean, to set up a city outside, I mean, we're going Hollywood. We're getting mini Hollywood props and we're videotaping them.
Yeah.
So that's just, if you get a good run by, to me, it's just the juice. It's just the juice.
Yeah.
Well, so let me ask you this, Ken. In the past year, have you used which have you used more? Your camera, your still camera, or your video camera?
Both equally, because for
Really?
every podcast, I still got to shoot a bunch of Mike Budde's cars. I got to shoot a lot of photos of a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to attempt to get an ad shot with a video camera.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
because the camera's
Right.
moving all the time, you don't have control.
But the
Yeah.
ad is changing. Remember that.
Yes. Yes, well, the ad is no longer, the ad is still a still photo in this hobby, but right
Yeah.
now they're realizing social media, Facebook, it's
Yes.
better to see an Athearn bunch of aces run by in
Right.
a desert
Right.
than it is to look at a still photo. Because now you're showing a few aces, which is a serving suggestion to buy more than one, and now you're also showing some freight cars. And by the way, if it's as good as the Easy Track ad, it's going
Yeah.
to sell the run out.
Yes, that
Oh,
was
I
a
love it when
classic
that
ad.
happens.
That's my favorite
I'm
one of all
glad
time.
you
man.
did. Can you see the juice? That's the excitement. The
Yes.
excitement is to stimulate somebody else to a reaction from your work.
Mhm.
And it's just, I love that part.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun.
That's funny.
God, you got me smiling.
Okay, good.
Can I talk about George Bogatiuk?
No.
Okay.
You already did.
George Bogatiuk sent me this photograph from the NMRA National when they were over at Bob Rivard's house.
Oh.
And Silas Anderson contacted him and said that he watches all the What's Neat shows and that he loves it. And he hung out with George and they just had a great time back there. And he sent me this photo and again wanted to have me do the shout out on that. And that's that on that. Now let's talk about our sponsors. Chris, what screensaver am I running tonight? What's the screen capture at the beginning?
Well, we're going to be kind of pushing some more of our N scale out there because we have the N scale tank train. This is the second run
Oh, look
in
at
N
that.
scale.
Oh, those are beautiful. I didn't even see them up there. Those are gorgeous.
Yeah, it's one of a great request that we've been getting a lot on the show is for more N scale, and I'd like to bring that out as part of Athearn. This is the N scale tank train. The white ones were used mostly around New York, heading north on the Vermont Railroad. They ran those in packs of 5 and 6. And then we're actually doing the Tehachapi style tank train. That's the 3-pack of black ones behind it. And those have a brand new truck design car called the Barber Scheffel. And that was a self-steering freight car truck that was designed to reduce the rail wear with a unit train like the tank train. We're talking a heavy tonnage type train going around a lot of curves. The trucks would actually steer to the degree of curvature. It was pretty interesting stuff, and we're bringing that out in N scale for the first time. Also, Mike, we've been talking about those ACF 4600 3-bay covered hoppers.
Yes.
You can see we have it in N scale too. So
Right.
I brought like Campbell Rice, pulling
Yeah.
a tree out, I have another green thing here. Here's the HO version of the N scale car.
Nice.
So we're doing this car in 2 different scales. I'm just pulling this out.
Which
to
one
kind
came first?
well, we're doing them at the same time.
Yeah.
So both of them.
From Bachmann tonight, we've got this SD9 locomotive with an
cool.
Economy sound system in it, and I'm doing
Beautiful.
a photo shoot tomorrow, so you get to see the photos right now tonight before I shot them. There they are. And I set up some pine trees and some mountains, and I got this nice Rio Grande shot with this SD9 locomotive with
Beautiful.
sound in it. How did they put sound in that? We've also got a couple of my favorite freight cars on the table, and I took this upon my own, Doug. I put the Schnabel cars out tonight because this is my favorite. This is a train all by itself. You put a caboose on it, a couple idler cars on
Yep.
each end, and you've got a special operations train that can pretty much be worked into any operating session. And if it's not an interesting train to operate, it's going to be a great train to look at while you operate it.
Yeah.
Because the functionality of all the wheels on this model, both of these models, are just like the prototype. And I've shot a lot of these outside. You guys have seen the ad shots of these in the past. These are some of my most favorite neat cars out of the box, ready to go, from Bachmann Trains in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much for sponsoring the What's Neat This Week podcast, guys.
And don't forget our main sponsor.
Athearn and NCE. Is that the one you're referring to? NCE.
Well, we got to bring NCE, and I this is something that I had a conversation with Michael over at the IA Scaled, and not everybody puts sound in locomotives. And one thing that NCE makes great sound, great throttle systems, and other things too. Well, one of the other things are DCC decoders, and
Without sound, right?
yeah, well, these are non-sound. These
Okay.
are motor control only with lighting, and they're doing 4-packs. Of course, they do singles, but one of the great things about the NCE decoders, and it's something that Michael from IA Scale mentioned to me, was he really recommended the NCE decoder for compatibility with their new proto throttle that just came out. And the reason being is the NCE decoder has a good Rule 17 dimming where you can individually dim the front headlight and the rear headlight without any connectivity together. So they're kind of completely separate, and that's something that's really prototypical.
Wow.
So something to consider when you're going out there. Also, this was a 4-pack. It's under $75. That comes down to under $19 per decoder. So it's really a cost-effective option if you're trying to do a fleet of locomotives. So something to consider.
I got another set of decoders over there, same from North NCE Corporation. Jim sent me another set of decoders for lights.
Yeah.
And I would put them in that track cleaning car that I painted up all fancy one time. And I think it'd be cool to put like a couple of strobe lights in the roof of that
Yeah.
car.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just a little more animation for what's already an animated car.
Well, the other nice thing about function-only decoders is if you do something where you buy a locomotive with like economy and you have 4 functions and you want to have like a 5th and a 6th to do like number boards and ground lights and step lights and all that extra stuff, you just get the function-only decoder, leaving the original installation, the factory OEM installation, and just add on to it. And you can make up as many functions as you want to light up all the different things, kind of like that steam locomotive with all the different effects on it,
That's fantastic,
So-
Chris. Man, thank you for telling us about
Yeah.
that. That's you when you mentioned that to me this evening. I was like, I didn't know it. I mean, Chris reads and I don't. So it's awesome. Thank you very much, Jim Scores, for sponsoring the What's Neat This Week podcast.
Yeah, thank you.
And I want to say that Joshua came by Wednesday. You and I hung out, and whenever you and I hang out, something always happens around here.
It's crazy how that happened.
And it was a very good thing. All of a sudden, I was ripping apart the narrow gauge layout like I've been threatening to do for the last year. I unplugged the bolts and I rolled it right out of the way so that Austin would have a lot more space to work
Yeah.
camera. And then we built a pretty decent table for our table to sit on top of.
Yep.
This thing can be reeled around anywhere. It's all self-contained with our electronics underneath. So this could theoretically work as a trade show booth display. Throw down an oriental carpet, a couple knickknacks in the background, and we got a trade show display almost ready to go.
Yeah.
So as long as it fits in my truck, I think we got something here.
I doubt it. Your truck's big, just not that big.
Now, look, when I found this coffee table in the trash, it fit in the truck. This is a free table, and we are
Yeah.
getting great use out of what was otherwise, you know.
You got a lot of add-ons.
Now, it
since
hurt
then.
to drill a 3-inch hole in it this week with a hole saw. You don't do that to a dining room table. This one had, it's because all the wires feed straight down through the...
Yeah.
So rock and roll. Mike, you brought some awesome cars to talk about tonight. And we
Yeah.
love it when you do this segment. Here comes the camera.
Well, thanks. Well, first off, I wanted to give a thank you to Sean Larson for showing us that Santa Maria Valley
Yes,
tender.
thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that thing restored.
Yeah.
That'll be really cool.
So-
And thank you for sending that along.
And that red car that we're looking at right now is from Sam Dennehy, our favorite guy from
I love Samuel.
Durham,
Yeah.
North Carolina. He's quite a character. But he brought me that little red roadster there when he came to town last month, and so the car right next to it, I was kind of deviating from my normal stock appearance, and I went for the rat rod look on that too, with
That's cool looking.
the patina they call it.
Now,
nowadays.
did you
It
just-
used to just be rust.
Did you just do these this week, Mike?
No. But yeah, something I did. The next cars that are the ones I did just find this week. They're actually a couple of years old, and you Australian guys would probably be familiar with them because they're made in Australia, or they're from Australia anyway. But they're all Ford products, old Falcons, and they're great for American layouts. They look exactly the same, other than the windshield wipers are backwards. Well, not backwards. They're opposite of the U.S. And steering wheel's on the right instead of the left. But they come apart with screws on the bottom, so that would be real easy to change. But there's some nice cars you don't see on everybody's layout. They're from Road Ragers, and I got the website here, COOEE Classics, but we'll put it on a crawl.
Mike, I love it, man. I
So-
love it.
Oh, I also want to give a shout out to Craig Fletcher. He recognized me in the hobby shop today, Mark Twain Hobby, and so I wanted to say thanks for stopping and saying hi. So I guess that's about it.
That's about it. Campbell, Joshua, you got anything else?
I got some stuff to talk about, actually.
Okay.
Okay, Joshua.
So I was on my trip to Portland, and I just happened to be bored one of the afternoons.
I love this story.
Right, sounds good
This
already.
is a good story.
I walk
Yay.
into a local hobby store there in downtown Portland called the Hobby Smith, and I don't get both feet inside the door, and I hear a voice from back in the back going, "I know you. You're on What's Neat This Week." And it turned out to be a lovely man named John Sparrows, and he works part-time at the hobby store. And got to meet the owner, Rob Mays, and they have a great store. I'm sure we're showing some B-roll right now. And they had a little N-scale layout down in the basement, the Columbia River Railroad. And I got some great pictures of that, got to be shown around that. And then John says to me, hey, my local club is having a meet tonight. Do you want to go over there? So
Heck yeah.
I went over there, and it's called the Mount Hood Model Engineers, and it's a breathtaking club. It shows a lot of the Oregon scenery, and I was blown away by everything in it. They have about 25 members, and they all work on different things in the club, and it's a nice basement layout. So had a great time. Thank you, John Sparrows. And I also want to give a shout out to John Abatacola.
Yay, John.
Yeah, John.
I love you,
I'm
John.
sorry that I didn't get
And
down to
Sydney.
San Jose. Yes.
Say hello to Sydney. Hi, Sydney.
He didn't know the way to San Jose.
Next time I'm down in that area, I will make sure to stop by and we'll hang out. And I hope I have bail money. So.
John, can you take a metal detector to John Allen's backyard, please, before they tear down the house? Come on, John.
Yeah.
It'll be good video, John. Number 5, Clio Vista. Number 9, Clio Vista. It's one of those two. All right, guys. Chris, what else you got?
Let's talk about the 50th show.
Okay.
And that's coming up next time.
Okay.
Next week.
Next
Next
week,
Wow.
actually.
Is that
So-
next week already?
That's
Yeah.
next week,
Yes.
7 days.
It'll be here and gone before you know
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So we're kind of parsing through some of our viewer responses to what should we do for the 50th show. I got 3 responses here from different viewers. And what I'm going to do is create a SurveyMonkey, and I'll send you the
Good
URL to
idea.
just copy in there. We're going to determine the 50th show Thursday morning. So voting will be
Voting?
through Wednesday.
Voting?
Voting.
We're going to be
Okay.
told what to do?
Yes, the
Let's-
And
viewers
so
have
whatever
the
they
power.
say
So
we're
this is going to
to
be
do,
fun.
we're going to have to do.
Yes. So a user named Lactrix.
We already have enough rope to hang ourselves with
Well-
just by having microphones and cameras running.
Well, let me finish here.
Yeah.
Lactrix says, he says, wow, another great podcast, and suggests for the 50th podcast, how about make it an hour long with a more in-depth on how you guys got started in model railroading, what is your first train and train set, and where do you see the hobby in the next 10 to 15 years? So that will be the first one that we're going to vote on. The second one will be from Matt M. For the 50th, maybe a better idea for the 100th. Maybe for the 50th.
Oh, you mean we could skip next week?
Oh,
I like that. I like it's got my vote.
you guys
Number
should do
50 surprise.
someone mute him. You guys do a video on a train about trains. So that's the second suggestion. We'll vote on that one. And the third one simply says from Denver, Deer Creek, and Western Productions, live for number 50. So those are the three that we get to choose from.
Live.
We'll
So it's a choice between 4 microphones or a video switcher this week.
or there's a lot of different
We'll
ways to
eventually have
approach
both. We got to get there.
it. Well, we'll have a couple ways to approach it, but
There's so much cool equipment that'll help improve the quality of the show. It's just a matter of time.
So how are people going to be able to vote now?
through SurveyMonkey and the link down below in the description.
Okay.
I'll copy that over to Ken. I'll
All right,
put that all
good.
together, and you don't have to be on Facebook. You don't have to register. You just simply go in there, drop your, your name, and also pick the option you want to do.
And Thursday morning is the deadline.
I'm really debating doing the fourth option on that, and that's have Joe Steinman come by and blow up a boxcar
Yeah.
for us.
We already showed that video earlier, didn't we? I think we did.
But anyway, yeah. So that is the 50th, and we'll have that all wrapped up for
Great.
next time.
Joe Steinman.
Sounds good.
Get
Yep.
out of his way, Joe Steinman. God, fireworks down the Garden Railroad. Whoosh. I love it. I love it when it all goes together, and I think this podcast just did, guys. So now I think it's time for us to all go out and have some fun and run some trains on the Garden Railroad.
One thing
tonight.
I'd like to do right quick before
Yes.
you run is I'd like to give a quick shout out to my model railroad club, the Dardanelle Model Railroad, and I have some pictures here. And this is us where we're meeting at our club spot, and this is our module unit. We have about 20 members, just a real good group of guys, and just kind of wanted to give a shout out and tell them how much I
Great.
appreciate them welcoming me in.
All
You
right.
should bring everybody next time.
Oh
Do
yeah,
they
I
have a
love it.
website?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That's awesome, Campbell. We love it when you come by, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, guys. Number 49. This is a wrap for September 15th, 2018. Guys, thanks for running camera. Everybody, let's hear some.
All right.
Yeah. See you guys later.
I love you, baby. I love you.
Yeah.